Well, this week could mark the end of a trial for one Dallas doctor. Prosecutors say 2 years ago, Dr. Raynaldo Ortiz poisoned several IV bags at the Baylor Scott & White Surgicare in North Dallas. A colleague of his died, and 11 other patients suffered heart problems after using those bags. Sydney Persine has been following this case very closely. She joins us now from outside the Dallas Federal Courthouse. Sydney, prosecutors rested their case this afternoon.
Yeah, Izzy, federal prosecutors rested about 2 hours ago, and then, of course, we started to hear from witnesses called by Ortiz's defense attorney. The first witness they called to the stand, a Dallas Police Department detective, Andrea Watson. Her testimony and then her direct examination, probably the most tense this afternoon, the most captivating. Essentially, investigators had identified 3 IV bags they believed to be tainted. Detective Watson, that's who took the wrappers on those IV bags and sent them out to be tested for fingerprints. She testified today that the analyst who reviewed those 3 wrappers was only able to test a single fingerprint, and that fingerprint, she testified, did not come back as a match to Ortiz. So as you can imagine, defense attorneys really honed in on that. But they also pressed the detective about the fact that they received that report late. She told jurors that was an accident, it was not intentional, but that was a pretty tense moment in the courtroom today. We also heard briefly from one of Ortiz's friends, a former colleague of his, a CRNA. She testified that it was not abnormal for Ortiz to be helpful around an OR, for him to grab his own IV bags. That matters, of course, because witnesses called by prosecutors throughout the last week have testified that it is abnormal to see an anesthesiologist grabbing their own IV bags from a warmer. We are expected to hear from more witnesses, defense witnesses, tomorrow. It is unclear yet if Ortiz himself will testify. Jurors, though, could begin deliberations as early as Thursday morning. Izzy.
All right. Thanks for the update tonight. Sydney Persine live in Dallas.